Hey everyone, gonna do my top 10 guitarists. This could be rhythm guitarists, this could be lead guitarists, and I did put a couple guitarists together from the same band. That is gonna happen with these top 10s, unfortunately, because sometimes that works. So my all-time favorite guitarist probably is Tony Iommi. Absolutely love Tony Iommi, greatest riff writer of all time, some of the greatest solos of all time, and probably the musician I have ever tried the hardest to emulate while playing guitar, while failing horribly. Moving on from there, we have Steve Vai. Okay, so there had to be at least one G3 guy on here. If you're one of my regular viewers, you knew Steve Vai would be my G3 guy. If you're one of my regular viewers, you know Steve Vai would be on here. So, for those of you who don't know, when it comes to the G3, Steve Vai is always my first choice. Second, obviously, part of the G3 being Joe Satriani. And then after that, we just get into whoever else is around. Moving on, speaking of whoever else is around. So, Kirk Hammett and James Hetfield. Putting them both together on here. James Hetfield is the greatest rhythm arm in heavy metal, man. Hard rock even, arguably. Just that dude. And the downstroke, man. It's just all on the downstroke, right? So, like, we're just talking insanity with what James can do. Absolutely love James. And Kirk is underrated a lot of the time, I think, because Kirk really does play with his emotions. I love the way that Kirk plays. Sometimes his solos are a little bit masturbatory, but a lot of the times they just really work within the presence of the song. And it's songs like Outlaw Torn, Fixer, those two specifically, I really can't get over his guitar work on them. I love the passion that he brings to them and the way it just explodes. Those are, like, honestly two of my favorite songs of all time. I can't get enough of those two songs, especially, like, instrumental wise. Just, beautiful songs. Okay, moving on. Angus Young. Angus is on here. Once again, these are my favorite. Not what I'm arguing are the greatest guitarists of all time. My favorite guitarists. And Angus has to be on this list, man. Angus was the first guitarist I ever tried to learn and emulate. First guitar book I ever went out and bought was an AC/DC Greatest Hits guitar book. Started learning all those riffs. Quickly learned that I have to stay the hell away from the solos. Then quickly realized I'd rather be Cliff Williams in the band. And the reality is I was definitely more Phil Rudd. But Angus had to be on this list for me. After Angus, Jack White. All right. So I do actually have what I would classify as a couple modern guitarists on here. And for me, modern would be guys that made their name post-millennium. So in other words, guys from the last 25 years. Although one of them is going to be before the last 20, technically started before the last 25 years. I just only learned about him in the last 25-ish years. But Jack White, I have a love for Jack White on so many levels. One, brought garage rock back. Two, what he's done for the record industry, literally vinyl industry, and how he kept it alive on so many levels. You vinyl lovers don't know how much you owe to Jack White. And when it comes to Jack White, I'm glad that the White Stripes got into the Hall of Fame when they did, as early as they did. The White Stripes deserve it. I look forward to the Raconteurs getting in, and I look for Jack White getting in as a solo artist as well, because all of his albums are fantastic rock albums. He's keeping rock and roll alive as far as I'm concerned. And I haven't found an album of his yet that I dislike. I found some that I'm not really fond of, but I haven't found one yet that I dislike. And the one I'm not overly fond of, it's just because, it doesn't quite hit the same way. Either way, moving on. John 5, which would be the next one. These ones are in no particular order at this point. They weren't. Iommi was my big one at the beginning. And anyways, John 5, my other newer guitarist, absolutely fell in love with his solo work when I started hearing his solo albums and that. Went out and picked up a couple of them. I'm kind of behind on those. I should probably pick up some more. He is a phenomenal guitarist. Oh my God. He's probably the greatest guitarist around my age. And I really don't understand why he went to go work with Motley Crue. I get that they're doing the big arena tours. He wants to be out there and doing the big arenas and stuff like that. But I think it was a bad idea. It was such a waste. Outside of that though, everything else the man does is golden. Adrian Smith, the only one I'm including from Iron Maiden because Adrian Smith tends to be one of my favorite writers in Iron Maiden. Usually if there is a song from Iron Maiden that I like, weirdly it doesn't apply to my top 3, but if there's a song from Iron Maiden that I like, usually it's Adrian Smith and Bruce Dickinson or just Adrian Smith. That's just kind of the way that works out. Not always, but when it comes to my top 3, one of the 3 is his, which is Wasted Years. So, considering how many Steve Harris wrote and Adrian Smith still got one of the top 3. Alex Lifeson, represent! Yes, that's right, Canadian representation. He's not on here for Canadian representation. He's on here because he is the unsung hero of Rush. Man, the poor dude gets lost between Geddy Lee and Neil Peart. Miss ya. He is the unsung hero of Rush, man, and one of the most underrated and overlooked guitarists of all time. Not to mention he co-writes every song. Every song he co-writes. Every last song. And the music side of it, he's helping co-write every single song, so I know there's 1 or 2 where he doesn't have credits on there, but like 1 or 2, Okay. All right. This next one, this is a combo one as well. Glenn Buxton, Michael Bruce, Dick Wagner. Basically the 3 guitarists responsible for shaping the sound of Alice Cooper, running from the original group right through to even in cases popping up decades later for Dick Wagner. Like Dick Wagner co-wrote with Alice for decades. And some of the best songs ever. So to leave one of them off of this list would feel really wrong. Glenn Buxton being the lead guitarist, Michael Bruce being the rhythm guitarist for the original band, and then Dick Wagner being the session guy that came in laterwards. I also wanted Dick Wagner on here because of all the other bands that he played with as well over the years that he doesn't get the credit he deserves. And the last one, this is another one, much like with the vocalists, this is the one and only Andrew Drusifer Kell, the rhythm guitarist for the Howling Odyssey, except for when we played Seven Nation Army and then he played lead. My buddy Drew is honestly like the most insane guitarist ever, and it is really a shame our band did not go further because that dude could write riffs, could write rhythm riffs that were just insane, find pockets between the lead and the bass that was his own and just run with it. It was beautiful. And we co-wrote so many songs together. Anyways, that's it, folks. This is the 10 in 10. Comments down below, like, subscribe, notifications, peace, love, take care.